Hey, Dennis, what's on your mind today?
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good.
I have a quick question. It's kind of a mouthful, but I want to give you enough time to respond. So I have a lot of Republican friends and Libertarian friends who tell me taxation is theft and using taxes to fund government programs like health care is wrong because it takes from someone who earned their money and gives to somebody else who hasn't earned it. So I don't agree with that. I want to know what you would say is the best counter argument to that and sort of debunks that claim. I'll give you all the time to respond.
Sure. Dennis, I'm forgetting who said it, but it would be easy to track it down. I believe it was Oliver Wendell Holmes who said that taxes are the price we pay to live in a civilized society. The fact of the matter is that, I make a living doing this show. I pay my taxes, but I couldn't do this show if I hadn't gotten a public education in a public school. I couldn't do this show if I couldn't get to work on public roads. We wouldn't have this studio if we didn't have local police and fire protection. These are all things that are paid for with taxes. So the means by which every single one of us makes our living is the public infrastructure, the public good. This business of my program, which is a small business that I own, this business would not exist without very specific laws that create court systems where, I can make sure that I get paid or I can pay other people, that create a stable banking system. If we shut down government the way Libertarians want and turned everything over to the billionaires and turned all our roads into toll roads, all our fire departments and police departments into subscription services, this is the Libertarian fantasy. What you would end up with is something like some of the most backward nations in the world. That libertarian theology, it would be worse than Somalia, frankly. And that libertarian theology has literally never successfully been tried. It's never been successfully tried at the level of a nation. And Don Rumsfeld and George W. Bush and Dick Cheney tried that with Iraq. Iraq was going to be their grand experiment. L. Paul Bremer was a Chicago school guy. He was brought in and made the viceroy of Iraq. They shut down the entire government sector, which was half their economy. It didn't work. They tried that with Chile. Milton Friedman himself supervised that back in the 70s with, throwing people out of helicopters who were dissidents and all that kind of stuff, with General Pinochet. It has never succeeded. You can't have a functioning economy without a functioning society. You can't have a functioning society without the infrastructure of that society. Things like public education and public roads and health care available to everybody.
The fire department and the police department.
Yeah. And if you're not going to pay for that with taxes, how are you going to pay for it? It ain't going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, you don't have a job. So it's like, to even suggest that taxation is theft and therefore we should resist it is to reveal mind-boggling stupidity, or ignorance anyway. Just a lack of a simple understanding about how economic and political systems work and how they interact with each other. It's really a tragedy, Dennis, and I really appreciate you bringing this up. It is such a tragedy that there are even people in the United States who are still spouting this kind of very, very sad nonsense.